Hello, beautiful Patriots.
Hello, Patriots and odds, digital soldiers, proud deplorables, and now chumps for Trump.
What? This is Kerry.
This is Joel.
And we are the Quiet Boys.
Of truth.
All right, this is supposed to be coming at you live on Sunday afternoon with snarkish Dano as promised. However, we are not able to go live right now since our account is being censored. And so we are recording this on Sunday. And we'll put it out as soon as we are able to.
Absolutely. So what is up, Dano? How you doing, brother?
Not too bad, man. I'm doing fairly well, better than you two, apparently.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
No joke. Yeah, we've been targeted for sure.
I haven't been slapped this week, so.
Yeah.
Right. So YouTube has now accused us of hate speech and cyberbullying.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, the videos we reviewed, too.
Yeah, we went through the whole review process. We watched each video very carefully, took copious notes, and there was nothing in either of them that was even close to hate speech or cyberbullying. Right. So,
but you know, they can make up their own guidelines, I guess. So
yeah, it's amazing.
Apparently, it's subjective
make up
now.
Definitions.
Yeah,
yeah,
very
exactly.
subjective.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very much so. But today, yeah, we're going to be covering.
What are we covering today?
Oh, you guys. Buckle up.
Oh, so before we get into that, Joel and I have made a backup channel, and it's called Quiet No More, and we'll put that link for you guys in the description.
And as well, also you need to know that Snarkish Dano also has his own YouTube channel now too, and you should go sub to it.
Definitely. What is that called, Dano?
I'm calling it Dano's House of Snark.
Nice.
Awesome. So we'll throw that link for you guys below in the description.
And also, don't forget, we want to mention before we get rolling too far here, Snarkish Dano is going to be on with Patriot Transition Voice. By the time this airs, though, you've probably already been on there by that time, right, Dano?
When are you going?
It's November 13th. Is
November. Okay, so this should be up before that happens. But
Perfect.
yeah, guys, set your calendars. It'll be awesome.
Perfect. So just to let you guys know, we're keeping this channel unless it does get shut down.
Right.
But go over and subscribe to our other one in case this one does get shut down. Then you already know where to find us.
Yep, absolutely.
And I want to warn you guys, I haven't guaranteed that I'm going to do my own videos yet. I'm just exploring possibilities. So,
right, very much so. But still,
all right, yeah,
definitely.
People subscribing.
Definitely, yeah. Go out and show your support, guys.
Absolutely. Patriots support Patriots. All right. So, what are we covering today, Dano?
Well, we are going to be covering the Whidbey missile launch.
Yeah.
The ballistic missile that everybody thinks was fired at Air Force One, but you know, ballistic missiles don't do things like that. So,
right.
We'll discuss that in detail later.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, sounds interesting.
So I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do, Dano, is I'm going to go ahead and give you some control here. Do you have? Let's see.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me get set up here. There we go. Got it. And boom. There we are.
Once again, I will be the kindergartner in the room.
I remember this launch well, and it's actually, you know, we didn't know Dano at the time of this happening, but I do remember this happening, and I remember Q talking about it.
Oh, yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yes.
But I don't know anything about missiles and all that stuff, so.
Right.
Well, let me fill everybody in. For those of you that don't know and haven't already heard, I'm pretty well known as a Seattleite or Seattle-ish-ite.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got woke up by this thing when it launched.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I remember the night. I remember waking up about 4 in the morning because I looked at the clock going, what the hell are the military jets doing out? And it was a noise. It was louder than the typical jet, and it continued on more so than a typical jet does. Because you're not far from Whidbey Naval Air Station, so we've got the F-18 Growlers flying around all the time. So we're kind of used to the noise, but not at 4 a.m. So, you know, it wasn't until later on that I figured out and put 5 and 5 together and went, oh, wow, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, you know, I didn't really think too much of it, and quite a bit of time went by, and I just kept seeing a bunch of disinformation out there about where the missile was launched, how it was launched, where it was aimed, you know, oh, it was aimed at the plane, you know, it was aimed at Air Force One and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, I got to put this together and dispel and show everybody what the truth is here, because it's fantastic without having any of that other crap attached to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you see here, basically what we have is we have this picture. This is what started it, this picture from Skunk Bay weather. Now, Skunk Bay is, let me find the appropriate tab. This is Western Washington here. Okay.
Yes.
And what we have is I have a nice little map that I've built here with everything we need to do this. Okay. Now, Skunk Bay weather is right here. And the camera we're looking at, it has 3 cameras. It has this left camera, this center camera range, and this right camera range. And this is the sweep of their cameras. And this is effectively, I've duplicated this off of their website. If we go back here, you can see down here, this is what they show on their website of what the camera sweep is. So I just duplicated it in Google Earth. But it pretty much looks straight towards Whidbey Island, which has got everybody going, oh, Whidbey Naval Air Station, Whidbey Naval Air Station. Well, yes and no. Part of what the problem you run into is that Whidbey Naval Air Station is off over here. Okay.
Right.
If you look, seeing as how that's on the center camera that picture was taken, and then it's in the left-hand quarter of the camera, this yellow V is the range of what that missile.
Where that was looking.
Right. So, as you can see here, Whidbey's off to the side by quite ways. And if we can zoom in and we can look all around here, and there's no silos. Now, I mean, people got to understand a ballistic missile silo is not something you hide underneath, you know, a little bit of vegetation or something. It's pretty obvious. I mean, they're hardened, which means that it's got a concrete lid on it that's 60 foot in diameter. So it's going to be noticeable. It's not an unnoticeable thing. There is an area over here that is in the shot zone that used to be part of Whidbey Naval Air Station, but we can look pretty closely and determine that there's nothing there. Plus, we've got all these neighborhood and these houses here.
Yeah.
If something went off here, believe me, this track homes, all this stuff, these guys would frickin' know it, and we've been hearing about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is not naval-based stuff. This is just publicly owned property.
Right.
So, it's not something that you're going to be able to keep everybody quiet on. I mean, you got a nice little marina here and stuff like that. I mean, believe me, these are people that's got some money. They're not going to stay quiet if there's a missile.
Oh, yeah. You've seen that all over social media.
Yeah, right. Now, at the time that the missile went off, I was living right here.
Oh, wow.
If you can see where the little hand is. Okay. So let me turn some of this off so that we can see some of this. Now, I left Whidbey Naval Air Station up. I'm going to leave a couple other ones up here. Okay. And I'll leave Skunk Bay up so you can see where the camera was.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Whidbey Naval Air Station up here. We've got Naval Station Everett, which houses a carrier. We've got Bangor Trident Base here, which by route here is where they head out to go to sea. And Skunk Bay is right there. This is the Naval Magazine. This is where they hold all of the armaments. So I'm not sure if they hold any nukes there, but I know they hold all the conventional stuff there.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is the Bangor Missile Submarine Base. This little triangular dock. You can see subs there. You can see one right here in dry dock right now.
Oh, yeah.
In the water. Another one sitting in the water. I mean, it's a legit deal. So, and also further down, you've got Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, which is basically where they go to dismantle ships. It's also a repair facility, but it's mostly about dismantling old ships. These old carriers are carriers that have been decommissioned and are being stripped and stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, this is also the place, we'll talk about this a little bit later. The Richard B. Russell was a attack submarine that was supposedly just decommissioned here at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. Well, at the time that happened, I was actually living over here and working right here.
Oh, wow.
So
Really close by.
And I used to drive by the Naval Shipyard pretty consistently, and I never saw a submarine there, ever. You know, they wouldn't have it submerged. It'd be out on the surface. You know, there's no reason to have it submerged. I mean, they're decommissioning it. They're not trying to hide anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's some sketchiness there because they say that it was dismantled in the time frame that I lived there, and this is official story. And it's like,
yeah, I don't know.
I remember seeing it there. I mean, the carriers are always there, but you know, never saw any submerged stuff. But anyway, so this kind of gives you an idea of the layout. Now, I'm going to tag a couple other things here. I'm going to put back on everything. Now, I want you to keep in mind here, this is facing basically straight north. Okay?
Right.
One of the things that a lot of people were saying is the missile was launched from Keytron Island. No. Keytron Island is all the way down here.
Oh, yeah, that's way south.
Exact opposite direction. In fact, it is, let's just do a quick little measurement. It's approximately 50 to 60 miles away the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's just not happening. Now, Keytron Island ended up being somewhat connected, but not because of the launch.
Okay.
Okay. Mainly just the name, the Richard B. Russell, is what was the key. That was the connection. So, you know, the pilot that flew the Q-400 plane down here took off from, you know, the Seattle Tacoma Airport right here, flew around down here, crashed into Keytron Island.
Oh, okay.
His name
I
was
remember that.
Russell.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, Richard B. Russell is the name of this sub that we were talking about, and a lot of people feel like has mysteriously appeared into somebody else's arsenal, aka the Clown Arsenal, and could have been retrofitted. Now, I'm not sure that they actually were able to retrofit that particular sub with a ballistic missile. The sizing would have been pretty drastically different, but it's there. So, okay. Another one that a lot of people talked about was railways. Here's the two railways that would have been in question. I actually am now living very close to both of these two. So, yes, I live kind of up in this general area. This is a refinery. This is actually for Shell oil refinery. And that probably sees 15 to 20 trains a day.
Right.
Not one that you'd be able to launch from. And this is part of the main north-south route from Canada to Seattle. Basically, it's the main line that runs all the way. And there's trains on this every 15, 20 minutes. I mean, huge, 5-engine trains running this path all the time.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to stop and get a missile launch in this zone. No way along here, because this is all cliff sides and stuff like that. And up here, it'd just be too obvious. Again, highly populated center. So I think we can pretty much rule out the K Club, train launch idea as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, I mean, you start getting distance involved. We're talking to the closest one, 37 miles. Okay. So there's no way that is 37 miles away. You can see the body.
That looks really close.
It's close. Okay. It's really close. Now, my initial thought was the launch happened in this area right here.
It's kind of what it looks like.
But based on some other work I've done since I did the initial conclusion, my conclusion is that the launch was here.
Oh, wow.
In the main shipping lane.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot closer.
Yeah. But let's get back to the thread. Now that you've kind of got an idea for the feel of the land, we can get back. Now, this is the missile launch picture, obviously. This is a picture of the area with, just a general day picture of it. You notice it says camera 2, which is the center camera.
Right.
This high spot right over here is going to become important because this actually factors into my figuring of some things later.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so camera 2 we saw goes off this way. That high spot that I was just pointing out is right over here.
Okay. It's that little lip out there.
Right, and what you're seeing behind is this contour here.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay, and then the missile's going to be in this general area here. Just a basic review of what we just talked about as far as who, what, where, when, why. And then zoom in on Whidbey Naval Alt Field, Whidbey Naval Air Station. Now this was a little map I did, again with the camera engaged, showing a path that, say, a nuclear Ohio submarine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want to back up a step here, and I want to point something out to a lot of people that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. The missile that the Ohio-class ballistic nuclear submarines carry is called the Trident.
Right.
The Trident II. The Trident II D5.
Okay.
Wow, what a coinky dink.
So just throwing that one out there too. But anyway.
That is very interesting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, when
D5.
they say D5, there's like 72 different layers of meaning to that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
So anyway, this is Bangor, obviously. This is the path through the Hood Canal, which some of you may have heard of, may or not. This bridge is fairly famous in that it sank one year.
Oh, that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can see it. I was trying to spot it there.
It's a floating bridge.
Okay.
And then, they go out here, and this is the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which, if we come back to the map, you can kind of see the bridge right here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And if we come back, we can see that the Strait of Juan de Fuca is how they have to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, then we're, Pacific Ocean out here.
Yep. And then you're out in the ocean.
Yeah. Now, something that I need to bring to everybody's attention is that Canada recently, now this is a weird area here. Okay. This is the San Juan Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we're still in this basic area. Orcas Island is right here.
Okay.
Everybody knows Orcas Island because Oprah owns property there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
As does General Mattis.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then have you guys heard about that deal where the English royal family was accused of and charged with kidnapping children?
Yeah. Was that up there?
That island is right up in here.
Oh,
my God.
Wow. They're like neighbors.
In fact, I think it's this little tiny one here. I've got it marked on another set of maps.
Right. I remember seeing pictures of that place.
But anyway, that's a big deal.
Hmm.
So this line right here is a Canadian-U.S. border, basically, specifically Canadian-Washington border. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Canada, and I've got a link in the article, just allowed China to put a bunch of submarine listening devices in this whole area.
Yeah, I just heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't we
So-
see that those Chinese troops that were in Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's way the heck and gone up here somewhere.
Yeah, it's
my
it's a
God.
ways further up north, but
It's
yeah.
up in here
Yeah.
that they're north of
Salt Spring Isles? Or?
It might have been, yeah.
Well, as you can see, there's plenty of islands up there.
Oh, yeah. You're looking at dozens up that way.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff up there.
Wow.
Anyway, so, it's a gorgeous area up there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I took a trip up there when I was younger, and oh, man. Yeah, it is
Some of the
beautiful.
most beautiful vistas in the world.
Absolutely.
But including down in this area is gorgeous as well. But
Mhm.
anyway, so this is the San Juans. And again, that's what Oprah's notorious for. As you can see, there's no way it could have been launched from Oprah's property.
Right.
And once again, you're not going to take, and Oprah just bought it in 2018. It's not enough time to outfit a missile silo. That
Right.
takes time. So,
Mhm.
and then shipping a missile. ballistic missiles aren't small things. They're 60-some foot long.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
joke.
Wide,
Not an easy thing to hide.
Yeah, it's not like you just pack it in a backpack and call it good.
Yeah,
Piece by
well,
piece.
We just saw Kim Jong-un's little parade with
Parade
his
of
ballistic missiles. So, yeah, we have a pretty good idea.
Oh, it fits right in the back of your Suburban. No problem.
Yeah, it's easy. You just got to strap it down.
Silly people. You can hide them everywhere.
Yeah.
No, it's a rail car or a barge, and that's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. And and yes, there are rail cars that bring the missiles to Bangor. I mean, it's you can kind of see the pathway through here, but is that it? No. Oh yeah, it is. You can see it right there. And that's the path that brings them to the naval station. And then it comes in like this. And voila, you're up in the main neck of the woods.
Oh, yes, you are.
So, anyway, enough giving away secrets that anybody can find via Google.
All right.
So, back to the thread. So, we can see a potential path a boat would take, a submarine would take to get in and out. Now, subs do run submerged, conning tower only this whole way. At high tide, there's no reason to think that they couldn't run fully submerged. Puget Sound is fairly deep, especially in the main shipping lanes. Yeah, I mean, we're talking other than Long Beach, the combination of oops, that's not a map, that's a picture. Can't drag on that one. Combination of Seattle and Tacoma, those are combined and they're kind of run together. It's the second largest port on the West Coast, and it's the second largest Chinese traffic port in the West Coast as well. So that's useful for other information later on.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this was my thought about the path that the sub would have had to take into account my initial launch thought process, but that's pretty convoluted. I mean, we know that it can stay submerged up to here because, I mean, if Naval Station Everett has carriers, they're going to have plenty of draft to get through here. Yeah. But getting up in here, it's still pretty deep. I actually had a depth map I compared, and it could still get up there, but that's pretty tight. Yeah. Coming out is one thing, but getting up here and turning around and then coming back out.
Yeah, that's a completely different story.
And that was the one weakness of my thought process about where this was. So, but I've since changed my mind. Now, another thing is that I ruled out some of these upper areas here that were closer to the north, up in Bellingham and Bow. These areas all turn to mud flats as soon as the tide goes out. I mean, you can see for this base, whole bay goes away. I mean, you can see the mud here. You don't even have to look. Oh, yeah. There's no depth there. This area here turns into a mud flat. This area is a possibility, but again, you're right on I mean, that's a couple 100,000 people who live in that town.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Doubt that there's going to be anybody, launching a missile. Now, I did talk to somebody that actually lived in Bellingham and was awake and saw the launch.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They said that they basically, the direction I was on was correct.
Okay.
With just a little bit of triangulation based on what they told me. I didn't just do that, did I? I did. My apologies.
No worries, man.
Give me just a second here.
Yep.
We can edit this out. Because it's not live.
Or you can leave it and show everybody I'm just as much of a moron as anybody else. See, no harm, no foul. We found it quick.
Boom.
I missed our live chat. I missed all the questions and stuff.
I know.
Yeah,
they're gonna have all these questions, and they're gonna ask us in the comments. We're gonna be like, I don't know.
Better pay attention then, huh?
Let me direct you to Dano.
Yeah, making sure his way. So basically, I cover the depth and the size and the needs of the water for a submarine at that place. Do not pay attention to the Google Earth KMZ file. I've updated it. It's no longer valid. Okay. I'm going to be coming up with a more elegant solution for that because every time I update one of the files, it invalidates an old link. So gotcha. I think I'm going to put a pinned link in my pinned tweet that I just append the newest files to at the end of it and just direct people to the first tweet every time. Anyway. If that made sense to you, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I can follow pretty easy.
So somebody asked where the missile went. I mean, it's a ballistic missile, and again, I'll get into the how do we know it was a ballistic missile in just a little bit. Q posted a picture that was very interesting. This picture right here. And Anons identified this as Alaska, 3 mountains up in Alaska. But one of the things that was odd was this little bit of thing that I've got circled crudely in red here. And I don't have a high quality shot of it. I didn't take the time to go find one on the Chan. But they had a really good high resolution version of this. And zoomed in, it's a missile body.
Oh.
So this was taken by Air Force One as they flew by, and they happened to see the missile body falling from the intercept by the F-16s that were scrambled to intercept the missile.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
So, and you can see we're over the water, so that thing landed in the water.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that's where that missile went. It didn't hit anything, didn't go anywhere. It got blowed up and fell in the water. So here's where we go with an add-on to this thread. DM 4x4 threw this out at me. And he took and had, or they, I should say, I'm not sure if it's he, my apologies, had taken and thrown this together, showing the ratio, laying that in there, showing approximately where that would be, and showing, and they thought that it would be they would be in this area. And I didn't really think so. But then I got to thinking about it a little bit more. And so then what I did is I really started digging in. Now, Trident 2, and up here is the D5. Here's the specifications. It's we'll call it 45 foot long by, call it 7 foot wide. It's an inch short. Okay. That's a pretty big thing, but we can establish a ratio based on that. Now, using that ratio and then taking this picture and actually increasing the pixel count and zooming in and cropping this up and counting the pixels that the missile uses, we can establish a ratio.
Right.
The picture. So I did all that math. And and this is where I get back into the rail lines and the Club K thing and kind of disavowed that because I really don't think that's it. Because it just had to be way, way closer than that. So I did the math and the ratios, and it only matches 2 known missiles in the world. It matches the Trident D5 and a Chinese ballistic missile that's used on Chinese subs. Now, I'm going to state right now, if there was a Chinese sub sitting in that area, ain't going to happen. No. No way. Not that close to a known U.S. Nuclear missile base. I mean, nuclear submarine base you've got 2 carrier bases there. No, that's one of the most protected areas in the world as far as getting marine traffic in and out.
That is a huge no-no.
Yeah. Now, could a Club K have launched off of a container ship? Possibly. But again, I don't know. I would think that would be pretty hard to pull off.
Oh, yeah.
Because the launch is not exactly subtle, and you would see pretty quickly that there was a launch and be able to backtrack it really quick to, hey, look at that big-ass container ship sitting there. Yeah. So, anyway. So then what I did is I went and I got altitude or the height of Whidbey Island. And again, you recognize that shape I was pointing out earlier.
That's that little lip coming out of there.
Little high spot right there at 423 feet.
All right.
So based on some more comparison and maths and stuff and ratios, I compared it and figured out that based on the height of the Trident D5 and the distance here, because I figured the distance From that point there to Skunk Bay was 5 miles, almost exactly.
Okay.
So that gave me a nice round number to work with. Okay. So using that, I came up with a ratio of where, that's the really cropped up of the missile.
Oh.
Just counted the pixels.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see it. Yep.
There's the bottom. There's the top. There's the body. And I clipped a couple pixels off the sides for counting just because.
Yeah.
So what I came up with based on the ratios is that our launch area, our launch distance was about here.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to say it was in this area right here. Which puts it right off of a main shipping line, but off of the shipping line.
Yeah.
Because this right here is the shipping path.
Okay.
That's the path that all the big boats will take. So, but keep in mind that this is the path that all the subs take to go out to sea.
Oh.
Right here.
Yep.
It's not that far off.
Yeah, it's really not.
Okay. So, and again, I showed that right here.
Yep.
You know, you're right there in the launch zone. Much better than having to go back around up here and up into this area up there. So, I mean, and again, a boat could have easily come in. Now, with all that stuff going on up north, there could have snuck a boat in really easily and gone stealth just that short little distance. Launched, out. But I don't think they would have gone out that way because, again, that's a highly controlled area.
Oh, yeah.
They've usually gone this way. So, because this is, we'll get back to the Google Maps here real quick, and you'll see that this is fairly deep water in these areas here. I mean, there's paths, and this whole backside of the island is fairly deep to a point. A sub might be able to make it through there. I'd have to figure that out.
Yeah, that looks pretty tight though.
That does look pretty tight. So they probably could have hugged the shore here and gone that way. And once they're here, pedal to the metal and
just bust out of there.
The world is your oyster,
Yep.
So that's the story. I mean, that's basically what it is. There was just so much disinformation going on with it being a ground-to-air missile. Well, no, it wasn't a ground-to-air missile. Ground-to-air missiles are longer and more slender. Ratio-wise, they're about. It wouldn't have even worked, and they don't have a quite that same profile nor exhaust plume. And Air Force One wasn't anywhere near the area when that was launched. Air Force One was further north. It was up in Alaska. So, I mean, it takes time for stuff to move, fairly quick, but it's not, instantaneous. The thought was that what Anons came up with is that it was actually aimed at possibly, I want to say Saipan, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Where POTUS was going to potentially meet Kim Jong-un. And that's what they were going to utilize to trigger a nuclear war.
Gotcha.
That was one of their big cards.
Oh, yeah.
They played it. And even Q mentioned something about, you played it and you lost. So, and they had gotten a clue of it because POTUS wasn't on the plane that took that picture. They went the other way, the complete other way around the world. So, POTUS wasn't anywhere near it. It wasn't in danger. They had gotten wind of it. They knew it was coming. In fact, some people are speculating that that's what got No Name his final bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
stuff.
He ordered the hit, as it were. Because the information about the trip and everything was so closely held, there wasn't too many people that knew about it. And we were able to, pretty quickly identify who was involved. So,
Yeah.
Let's see here. Did I come together? I'm still, we're still talking. You'd almost have to have an ICBM capable launch missile platform, meaning a boomer, which is a really big submarine. Now, the RBR I'm discussing here, the RBR, I'm sitting here pointing with my finger, which you guys can't see. The RBR, which is the Richard B. Russell, might have been retrofitted to fire a missile, but doubtful it could fire multiples. Oh, that's right. There was the Hawaii ballistic missile.
Yes.
False alarm, and I'm doing air quotes around the word false.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was a false alarm.
I don't either.
I think they intercepted that one as well, but that was aimed towards Hawaii. Well, let's go back to the map. I love maps.
We know.
I could not tell.
Well, they're really good. Okay, so if a boat's out here, here's Hawaii down here.
Yeah.
Here's Washington. So let's take a radius here. Circle. There we go. Okay, say we're 1,100. Call it 1,200 miles. Okay. Calculator. Oops, open over there. 1,200, and I'm going to divide it by 25 knots.
Okay.
Because 25 knot, based on some other digs I've done, that's a pretty reasonable speed for a boomer. That's 48 hours to get to where you need to go. So theoretically, you could have launched anywhere out in this basic area, in this arc right here, and still had plenty of time to get to here to engage in the behavior of launching another missile. So, in fact, you could have even been out here a little ways, because I think if we do this again, let's just do it this way. Let's go 2,400 miles. So that's 4 days sailing. That puts you out here.
Oh, yeah.
That's, and you could make it look like it's coming on the Great Polar Arc across down here.
Oh, yeah.
Without too much of a hassle. So here, 4 days sail to here, and a week later, then, after this event here, you've got a launch. So you got a launch out here, and then you got a launch in here within a week of each other. So you've got a boat that's capable of launching and carrying 2 separate missiles.
Right.
Okay. The Richard B. Russell is a very small boat. It is. Give me a second here. I'm gonna Google foo.
Google foo.
Submarine. And we go to Wiki. And if you look here, it's 31 feet tall. Okay.
Okay.
The Sturgeon is not a very big boat.
Yeah.
Now, if we go and just change this to Ohio, now we see that the draft on the Ohio is 35 feet. Now, and the beam is 42. So, we're talking 10 more feet.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see here, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so people can see it better. We've got, a heister lift here, and, you've got some...
Yeah, this is a huge sub.
Objects to give you a sense of size. And you see how this is flattened out here so that the missile has a place to stand?
Yeah.
See the missile doors open right here all along.
Yep.
Okay. That missile takes up pretty much the whole height of that boat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that's the Trident, which we saw earlier was, 44 feet tall? Okay. So, it's right at... And the C package might be slightly shorter, but it's not dozens of feet. It's a couple feet.
Yeah, not much.
There's not much difference. So it takes a pretty big boat. You're not going to fit a ballistic missile that needs to launch vertically in a 30-foot diameter sub.
No.
It's just not going to happen. Not unless it's some grossly messed up appendage of a thing that's going to make so much noise, water flow, that you could hear it by putting a cup in the water. And that's not the idea of a submarine. The idea of a submarine is silent. So
for stealth,
stealth, exactly. So that's pretty much the whole thing. I mean, there's not a lot there. It was definitely not an air or ground-to-air missile. It was a ballistic missile. There's no doubt about it. It could have only been one of two. Now, if it was a Renegade sub, there's not saying it couldn't have been a Chinese missile that was retrofitted into the American sub, the old-style American sub. But the problem you run into with it is it's still the same physical size as a Trident.
Right.
If we go and look at Chinese nuclear, I can't spell today. Missiles. And then I go here, and you can tell I've been down this because the paths, the clip. Here you go. Submarine. The JL2 SLBM is the one, and I'll click on this. We'll go here, and I believe it gives me the sizes. I thought it did. Maybe it doesn't here, but I found it, and it's like within 6 inches of the Trident in almost every dimension.
Gotcha.
So it's really close. It's probably one that was stolen from us, to be honest. It's probably just a clone of the Trident, because they seem to be very good at doing that. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much what I got.
Man,
nice. Wow.
that is wild. And it makes me wonder though too if they've tried this since, or if they were just caught and they're like, no, you guys are done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was an interesting thread that I saw a while ago, and I regrettably didn't snag it or link it to myself or anything, talking about the USS Jimmy Carter, which is a Los Angeles class attack submarine. Or no, it's the new one. Anyway, it's a newer attack sub. It's actually come back flying the Jolly Roger twice. If you're not aware of what the Jolly Roger is, that the Pirate's flag.
Pirate, yep, pirate flag.
Okay. Now, U.S. military vessels only fly the Jolly Roger when they have come back from a successful combat mission. Okay. So why would a U.S. submarine, attack submarine, come back flying the Jolly Roger? Not once, but twice.
Yeah. What were they doing?
So, that tells me that sub got a kill.
Oh, yeah.
And, that leads to some interesting conclusions, which tells me that the deep state submarines are no more.
Wow. Man, that's awesome. I really hope so, because the crap they try to pull is just, it's ridiculous.
Q has told us that they have expended a lot of ammunition, as it were.
Right.
And they keep doing things to draw that ammunition out to get them to expend as much as possible. And they have no choice but to do it, because they can't risk not taking the chance of doing it. So it's they're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah.
But I think that that's exactly what some of these cases were, and they were able to track and deal with this sub. In fact, it's possible that Jimmy Carter was sitting out there, out past the Straits of Juan de Fuca, waiting for this boat to come out, and nailed it out in the middle of the Pacific somewhere, followed it and sunk it, and came back home going, rah, rah, we got it,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's setting a trap for him.
Yeah.
This was a while ago. It wasn't recently that it came back. So I mean, it's been a year and a half, 2 years ago, which just jives with when this missile launched and alarm and all that. And so and the Richard B. Russell tie-in to the Q400 plane and stuff is just the name, which we think was what Q was doing, was giving us the name of the sub that was used in launch. But I'm still trying to figure out how they made a attack sub able to launch a ballistic missile.
Yeah.
I suppose there's other ways that I'm not aware of. I mean, you know, military being what it is, or deep state black ops being what they are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could be totally wrong about the absolute necessity of having a boat big enough. But, you know, there was a lot of interesting stuff going on there, and it was really confusing, and it took a long time for people to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think there's a lot of confusion about what really happened with this particular thing, you know, because Keytron Island did come up, you know, just a week or two afterwards. I mean, these two events happened really close to each other.
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, they were trying to get eyes over on Keytron for some reason.
Well, Keytron turns out to be, yeah, it's probably a deep state data farm.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it is. If we go, I don't have it all set up here, but I can certainly guide you in. Keytron Island here. There's a pipeline that runs right through here.
Okay.
And Amazon and Google and some other boys have things here.
Gotcha.
In fact, this is an Amazon warehouse, if I remember correctly. And then there's some other things going on here, but it turns out that this is almost a direct pipeline to Keytron Island. And southern Keytron Island, which is down here, is where the plane landed or crashed.
Mm.
And you really can't see much through the trees.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that the whole idea was to get eyes on the ground here. There's something a little strange right there.
Yeah.
Kind of an artifact that doesn't really jive. Like somebody's photoshopped something in, or
yeah.
You know, I mean, a bunch of trees from overhead look like a bunch of trees from overhead.
Yep.
But anyway, all these dead hemlocks are interesting. They die from the top down. It's a common problem up here with the hemlocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and no, it's not the hemlock like it's poison. It's a bush versus an evergreen tree. And yes, I just used the E word. So anyway, just lots of interesting things, things that, you know, we can only assume. That's a little up there. So it's easy to make big assumptions that lead you off in the wrong direction.
Right.
True.
But, you know, with what we know, it's not that hard to establish some facts.
Right.
That's interesting. I didn't realize Keytron was that close. Anderson Island was the home to a federal corrections center.
Oh.
I thought it was Anderson. No, McNeil.
McNeil?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see it.
Right
there
up
it is,
north there. Yep.
Yeah.
Still really close.
Yeah, I mean, Keytron's right here. In Anderson Island, probably about, I don't know, 20 years ago, straight below it we had our biggest earthquake we've had here in a long time, a 7.0.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a big earthquake.
Yeah, so I felt that one.
Oh, yeah.
All the way up here. So, anyway.
Crazy.
That's what I got, man.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
fascinating stuff.
yeah,
man.
and I'm hoping, you know, because I really wanted to do this because I know you were up in that area and you were telling us that you heard that, you know, I mean, it woke you up.
Yeah.
Wanted to get, you know, I mean, I wanted to get a local's perspective of that launch, you know.
Well, like I say, I mean, where I was approximately living to the launch spot, you know, we'll just say right there to right there, I was 13 miles away.
Yeah, that's really close.
Wow.
You're going to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to
For sure.
see that too if you step outside.
Well, it was rainy that night.
Ah, gotcha.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
But here's the thing that other people don't necessarily realize is that there's not a whole lot of population in this circle.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mukilteo over here, but Mukilteo wouldn't have seen anything because it would have been shadowed by the island.
Right.
Payne Field right here is where the 747s are built, by the way. The big fuss about Boeing moving plane production out.
Yeah.
That's right here.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's all right there. I mean, it's just scary. I mean, Redmond is home of Microsoft.
Yep.
Here's where Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos live. Here's Chap down here. Here's another Boeing plant right down here. There's Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. I mean, everybody talks about all this stuff, but when you start looking at how close everything is together,
they're so close.
That's crazy.
Well, and the big problem with this whole area is that, and I've got a graphic, and I don't want to go digging for it, but you've got basically you're forced in a north-south configuration no matter what you do. You got Puget Sound here that runs north-south. You've got Olympia, which is where lovely Governor Inslee lives. Tacoma, Seattle, Everett, and it kind of wraps up here. This is the I-5 corridor. And then over here, you've got the Cascade Mountains. I mean, that's freaking Mount Rainier right there. I mean, that's not that far away. I mean, this is big stuff. So you don't have that far east you can go. I mean, it's probably a 20, 30-mile zone here. So you're limited north-south in almost every way, shape, and form. So everything does get stacked up on itself. And it just is pretty bad. So, and you can see here, I mean, you got the lakes delineating things north and south too.
Yep.
So,
that's crazy. That is crazy.
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island. Man.
Anyway, that's it.
Nice. Right on.
Any questions?
You got any, babe?
Not right now.
I really wish we were live. This would be. We have so many questions.
We have a lot of people in the chat asking questions, but
well, maybe what we should do is when you publish this, just let me know when, and we can be available, and we can just let it run. And afterwards, we can just start a live. Hey, question and answer time.
Yeah, we might as well. I think that would be good because I know there's people that have a lot of questions about this, and I wanted to get this out there. I mean, I think it's very interesting.
Definitely.
I mean, because when was the Hawaii missile alert? That was really shortly before this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like only a week difference.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Man, that
scare. Okay, Saturday, January 13th, 2018. And then let me go to the queue. Well, no, I can't because it doesn't come up that way. Whidbey missile. 4 a.m. on Sunday, June 10th. So I'm sorry, it was about 5 months difference.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was spaced out.
It was spaced out a lot further than I thought it was.
Right, because I was thinking they were closer together. But the other one with the Hawaii one, that was really shady. That was really, they're telling us the story we heard first was, it was somebody new working there who accidentally hit the alarm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
Exactly. It just doesn't add up at all.
No.
Any of it. And the story changed so rapidly so many times. You could tell that they were just busy trying to get their story straight.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They do a lot of that these days.
Yeah. And it's amazing to me how many people will still buy it.
Yeah.
Or just refuse to even look at it. I don't understand.
Well, I ran into that today. There's, to kind of, if you don't mind tying into a very current thing, and we'll not discuss it in detail, but the laptop with the information that's being talked about so much.
Right.
And everybody's going, ooh, H is involved. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here. Not one thing that we have heard, said, or seen has shown H involved in any of the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just says it's H's laptop and it's on there, or H was doing this with somebody of age, but there's never been somebody that says this has been put together and this is what this person is doing with this other person that is not of age.
Right.
And there's legions of people that want to just throw everybody under the bus based on hearsay and assumption.
Right.
And I'm having a big problem with that because, Chanel Rion said this. Well, okay, great. But until we have proof, let's not jump.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Because we're doing exactly what we did that got us in this position in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
We're taking the media's word for it and not doing our own due diligence and our own research.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's very important.
Yes, it's exceptionally important. And that's why we have to do this. And I think that's why the media as a whole is just going to have to not exist, because people want to take the easy way out. They don't. They want to be able to trust, and we can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just have to remove that crutch, as it were. So
not in today's world. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, didn't mean to go there, but
no, you're fine, man. I mean, I appreciate the honesty because I've had thoughts about that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. It's really difficult. I mean,
it is.
My conundrum is there is so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to know everything. I'm one of those weirdos that I give me the information, just feed it to me.
Yeah.
Information monster, blue mouth flopping and everything. But it's just and it's hard because I've got to limit what I actually study. And then I end up having to trust somebody's judgment.
Yeah.
At some point. But what I'm not doing is I'm not trusting a reporter's judgment. And much as I love Chanel and what she does, and as righteous as I think she is, she's still a reporter.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 reporters that we have been told have the inside track we can listen to. And much as I like Chanel, she was not one of them.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Who was that? That was Sarah Carter and John Solomon, wasn't it?
And John Solomon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'm not saying that other people aren't accurate.
Right.
And Chanel obviously is. But we cannot just take everything that she says at face value as gospel.
True.
It's irresponsible.
Yeah. I think irresponsible to do that in any case with anybody, though.
No, that's true. That's true. Yep.
But you have to develop trusted sources.
True.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, because again, you get to that point, like I'm just talking about, of what, at a certain point, you're going to have no time to do anything other than research to keep yourself informed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, if that's how the world's heading, I'm okay with that, because then I won't have to worry about work. I can stay home and research.
Right.
That's perfect. That's great.
That's a win-win.
I like this. But, I mean, framing it in the current world view, that's going to be very difficult for most people to do,
Right.
Because they don't have a job, or, or they're retired or whatever, stay-at-home parent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even a stay-at-home parent, I mean, you can't sit there on the computer all the time.
Exactly.
You just go crazy in the background,
Yep. Yeah, exactly. True. Man.
Sorry.
Crazy.
Opinions by Dano.
I love it.
Be careful. Opinions
I know.
get kicked off YouTube, apparently. So
Yeah.
Well,
the reality of where we're at right now.
I was trying to be nice.
Nope, you were fine. We just learned that recently, though, didn't we?
I still haven't learned it.
Yeah, well,
I refuse to learn that.
I've heard of it, but
Yeah, I heard a rumor somewhere, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor. So, anything else you guys want to see while we're here?
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, Dano.
So are we going to do this again? Hopefully, if our channel is back up and running.
You bet.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'll enjoy doing this with you guys as long as you want to.
Absolutely. We love it, man. We
so
appreciate it.
maybe put out another poll or something to decide what we're going to talk about next time.
There's so many interesting
There were some things
threads
about
here.
the Vatican that were you discussing something about that? I think that would be pretty fascinating.
I can discuss the Vatican in depth. I have not done a thread on it.
See, that's the other thing that's interesting, guys, that you need to understand is Dano's got a ton of threads, but he's got so much information for threads he has not done that we could just literally just
Right. Well,
just
wait,
talk
we had
about
talked
stuff.
about doing like Luciferianism or
Yes,
something, right?
yes,
Oh,
we
that should
had
be our
talked
next
about
one.
that.
The Luciferianism one, I think, is a good one to do.
I think we
Yeah,
should
I
do
think
that
we should
one.
do that next time.
It's going to be hard for a lot of people, though.
It is.
It will.
It is.
I'll warn you, and not hard because we're talking about dark subject matter, but hard because we're going to be attacking some very firmly held and dear beliefs of many people, and not attacking in a vicious or malicious way in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But asking you to step back and re-examine what you think you know.
Yep.
Right.
And
that's not easy to do for everybody. So.
Well, I mean, it kind of takes you out of your belief system for a minute and forces you to reevaluate.
I've already had to do this so many times in the last 3 years that, you know, I'm
it's not an easy thing to do, not gonna lie.
It's not.
You know, you do
but it is
experience
possible.
some cognitive dissonance on it, you know,
it is
for
possible
sure.
to do.
Cognitive dissonance is going to be a ongoing and increasingly large problem, not just for the people that are flailing on the left, but also for patriots.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe it.
A lot of patriots that are going to be learning a lot of things that they're probably not going to like.
Yep.
And I'm sad about that. Regrettably, some of us have already been down this road and have learned the hard way. And but there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope at the end of the tunnel.
Oh yeah.
Not woe is me and all that. So sorry, I just zoomed in on something that looked interesting. I hadn't noticed.
No, what is that?
Yeah, I was like,
what the heck? About to ask you what that is.
That's kind of out in the middle of freaking nowhere. And I just caught the pattern here in my eye in the map, and I just am zooming in on it because that
weird. What is that place?
That looks like a power.
Oh, it could be. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's got power lines right next to it.
Yeah, those are big transmission towers.
Yeah.
But hang on. No, those are not transmission towers. The frick?
What is that?
What the heck?
It stops right there.
Oh, whoa.
That's a radio.
Oh.
That's a radio. That's an antenna emplacement.
Huh.
Okay, hang on. Places. Aha. Jim Creek Naval Radio Station.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's just kind of out there by itself.
Yeah, Naval Radio Station. Oh, ELF. ELF and VLF. And I'm surprised that's not close to the shore.
Yeah, that's kind of more inland than you'd think it'd be.
Yeah. But that's probably what that is. This is, very, if you're not familiar with what VLF and ELF are, it's very long frequency and extra long frequency, or extremely long frequency. I mean, that's almost a mile long path there.
It's about 3/4 of a mile almost.
Yeah. So, that's that antenna can do a lot of really long wave stuff that they utilize, and that's how they communicate with the subs underwater.
Gotcha.
It takes a long time, but they get it done.
Wow.
So,
Crazy.
anyway. Okay.
Crazy.
Well,
Curious and interesting.
Yeah, no joke. No joke. All right.
All right. Well, we so appreciate you being here with us today, Dano, and
Absolutely.
wish we were live, but
I appreciate the opportunity to do this, and we'll continue to do it. I look forward to it, and I wish we were live too, because I do enjoy the interaction with the audience and the questions and the putting me on the spot. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that we should definitely do that, and then shortly after we can just go live and take questions and talk about some more stuff for sure.
Yeah, I have no problems with that. I think that'd be great. I mean, this is kind of a short one for a change, so that's gives us plenty of opportunity to cover a lot of other ground if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then send us the link to your YouTube channel. We'll throw that in the description. And then don't forget, guys, if our channel ends up going down, we're going to put our other channel. It's kind of nondescript. We don't really have a logo or anything
Right, we'll get
on it
that
right
up
now,
there.
but we'll throw that link so you can head over there in case you can't find us anymore.
Right. And also don't forget that it's you're going to be on Patriot Transition Voice YouTube channel November 13th.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Don't forget that, guys. Go
We'll
check
put
them
all
out.
that stuff in the
There's
description.
some awesome Patriots as well.
We'll be covering Antarctica.
Yes.
Nice.
It'll be good. It'll be good. So come with questions, and yeah, we'll probably be watching that one too.
All right.
Oh yeah.
And if you guys get nuked or anything with your channel, I'll be making sure that everybody knows how to find you too. So
Awesome. We appreciate
Thank
that,
you
brother.
so much.
Absolutely.
utilize me as kind of a backup if we have to. So
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we all got to stick
We all
together
have to,
because
yeah.
this is getting to be really bumpy.
Yeah.
look out for each other in this battlefield. So
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right,
Thanks,
so
guys.
I think we're going to end this one, right? Okay,
Yep.
so if you do happen to be new here, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, talk to that little notification bell so you're notified when we put out new videos or go live when we're able to again. But yeah, Dano, would you like to see us out, brother?
where we go on.
We go on.
Love you,
Good night,
Patriots.
Patriots.
Bye,
God
guys.
bless.
God bless.
See you guys later.
See ya.